No, it definitely don't matter. You know, the odds can't fight for him, so it is what it is. I expect him to, box a little bit, but I also expect him, to try to walk me down and be the bigger man. So, we expect everything. Both of us got a lot to lose, but a lot to gain. So, I think that's why everybody should tune in, because it's going to be.
Shane Mosley said that the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford would be exciting because both are very skilled. However, he believes Canelo's size will give him the advantage, since many people don't realize how big Canelo really is. Even though Crawford might be the more skilled boxer, Mosley mentioned that Canelo is 2 weight classes bigger and thinks that will help Canelo win easily. Still, he respects Crawford's talent. In a recent live talk, Terence Crawford warned Canelo Alvarez about their upcoming fight in September. Canelo is fully focused on his training. He's working hard, improving his skills, and staying ready for the big match. His serious preparation shows how determined he is to perform well again.
It's been a great fight. I think both guys are great fighters, but I think Canelo's just too big, and they mistake him as being just a guy at 168, not a regular guy, and Crawford being the more talented. But that's not the case. They're both talented. Yeah. But the only thing is, Canelo has them by 2-weight division. So I think that Canelo beats him pretty easily. But we'll see. If Crawford does good, I mean, kudos to Crawford. I'm happy for him. If he can pull off, great. But my mentor, my mind's telling me that Canelo's gonna.
Mosley also said that for Crawford to win, he would need to fight at a slower pace, using good movement and keeping the right distance. He explained that using space doesn't mean running away, but being smart. If Crawford can stay just outside of danger and avoid heavy exchanges, he might be able to surprise everyone. Even though Mosley favors Canelo, he praised Crawford as a true fighter but warned that the weight difference might be too much.
I think that maybe I don't have to make all the way boring, but maybe it has to be boring spots. Yeah. So just because he's moving around and keeping his distance don't mean that he's running, right? Yeah. So if he can move and just stay a little bit outside the pocket long enough, then maybe he can win. But I'm thinking Canelo's gonna win. I think Canelo's gonna get a fight because Crawford is a fighter. He's a true fighter. He's a real fighter, but he's in a wrong way.
Terence Crawford, on the other hand, said he expects Canelo to fight using his boxing skills while also trying to pressure him with his size. Crawford admitted that Canelo is stronger, but said he's ready for anything and prepared to face Canelo's style in the ring.
It's a spectacular fight. You got 2 great fighters, going head to head, and trying to dethrone. You got one fighter trying to dethrone the other one, and you got the other one trying to, stay at the top. So, it's going to be a great fight. Both of us got a lot to lose, but a lot to gain. So, I think that's why everybody should tune in, because it's going to be.
Terence Crawford also said fans should watch the fight on September 13th because it will be a great battle between 2 top boxers. One is trying to stay on top, while the other is aiming to take that spot. He added that both fighters have a lot to lose and a lot to gain, which makes this a fight you don't want to miss.
I think it's totally different. I think, Canelo was only 23, he was very young. I think this fight's gonna be great. I do see Crawford maybe pulling it up because he's got good footwork, good speed, but I don't think that they're close. I don't similar those 2 fights, Canelo and Floyd. I think they're just different styles. I mean, Floyd and
Robert Garcia responded to Canelo Alvarez's comment that Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather by saying the comparison doesn't make sense. He explained that Floyd and Crawford have very different fighting styles, so their fights can't really be compared. Garcia also reminded people that Canelo was only 23 and still growing as a fighter when he faced Mayweather. While he respects Crawford's speed and skill, he made it clear that the 2 fighters are not the same and the situations were very different.
Opinionated, some people got me as number 1 right now, some people got me number 2, some people got me number 3, it's opinionated, but yeah, for sure, beating the likes of Canelo, in a division that is not my natural division, would definitely cement my legacy as the best pound for pound.
Finally, Terence Crawford said that being called the pound-for-pound king is really a matter of opinion. Some people already see him as number one, while others rank him second or third. Still, he made it clear that if he beats Canelo Alvarez in a higher weight class, it would prove he's the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world.
Crawford, good fight. Good fight. Canelo has advantage because Crawford moving up, but my advice to Crawford is like maintain the speed, improve the speed, and improve the strength. Because it's hard to go up in high weight and maintain your speed. So speed is the key. Like he should focus on speed, footwork, and improve.
Manny Pacquiao said the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is a great matchup, but he believes Canelo has the advantage because Crawford is moving up in weight. Pacquiao advised Crawford to focus on keeping and improving his speed and strength, since gaining weight can make it harder to stay fast. He stressed how important speed is and encouraged Crawford to work on his quickness, footwork, and power.
For sure, but I feel like Crawford definitely has a great chance. I feel like it's a 50-50 fight. I really don't know who will come out on top of that one. I feel like the better man that night will win. So I feel like the fans are the winners in that one.
Carmel Moden believes the upcoming September fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is a big deal, especially with Crawford moving up 2 weight classes to fight for the undisputed super middleweight title. He noted that smaller boxers usually don't succeed when moving up, but he thinks Crawford has a real chance. Moden sees the fight as a 50-50 matchup and said it will all depend on who performs better on fight night. In the end, he said the real winners will be the fans.
Canelo is really, Canelo's going to be Canelo, man. He's really, I think all the variables lie on Crawford. Crawford is confident, but Crawford is outside of his zone. It's all about the training camp, the preparation, the extra weight, but still being agile, I believe that it's tactics and game plan. I hope he works behind that jab. I hope he works behind the feint, and I hope he uses small little angles and different things, almost like when Charlo got dropped, right? After he got dropped, he never got dropped again. And because he never got dropped again, there's evidence that a nice mover, keeping your hands up, you actually can not get hurt by Canelo. Now, that was not the keys to victory, because that was the keys of survival. But survival and tactics of not getting hit, the game of boxing is hit and not get hit.
Absolutely.
So, to have the defense...
Keith Thurman said that Canelo will fight like he always does, but the main focus is on Crawford. He explained that Crawford is stepping out of his comfort zone by moving up in weight, and his success depends on his training, preparation, and staying flexible. Thurman said Crawford needs to use strategies like jabs, feints, and angles. He also pointed out how Charlo reacted carefully after getting hit to avoid more damage, showing that smart movement and defense can limit Canelo's power. Thurman added that while this may not help Crawford win, it could help him stay in the fight and follow the boxing rule of hitting without getting hit.
I'm always on my dog Crawford, man. I'm with Crawford, man. I'm Crawford. I'm team Crawford all the way, and I'm not just saying that, for no other reason. I just think he's a great fighter. It's his era right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, he's a very great role model.
Yeah. But man, everything about Crawford is solid so far. So I'm going with Crawford.
Yeah, you see these videos that he drops of him, and his kids training and stuff like that. And, you don't see a lot of boxers do that.
I'm with all of that. I'm with all of that. He ain't out here being negative. He ain't out here in the, in the news, giving bullshit. Like, it's all good right now.
If you could give us a prediction for that fight.
Brian Norman, a senior fan, said he has always supported Terence Crawford and will keep doing so. He called Crawford his guy and said he is 100% behind him. Norman praised Crawford as a great fighter and a good role model. He said this is Crawford's time to shine and that everything about him is strong. Norman also noticed how Crawford spends time training with his kids, showing a side many people don't see. He admires how Crawford stays out of trouble and avoids bad publicity. When asked who he thinks will win, Norman said Crawford will win by decision.
Be a great fight. I got Crawford by stoppage, and I've known him since he was a little kid, 12 years old. So to see him now fighting for a title in such a big fight, it's a great experience, great to see.
Last question for me then, how do you think Crawford stops him? How do you think he's able to work Canelo enough for him to stop the fight, drop, knock him down? How do you think this is possible by Crawford style?
He gonna box him. He can fight both ways. He gonna trick him up. One thing Canelo showed is that he can be outboxed. But I think this time in the late rounds, think
Shannon Briggs believes Terence Crawford will win by stopping the fight early. He said he has known Crawford since he was a young boy and is proud to see how far he has come. Briggs thinks Crawford's ability to fight both ways and his smart boxing will confuse Canelo. He added that Canelo has struggled against tricky fighters before, and expects Crawford to tire him out and finish strong in the later rounds.
Gotta go in there, and he just gotta fight him. You know what I'm saying? He gotta go in there. I think Crawford just gotta go in there and do what he gotta do. You know what I'm saying? He gotta just be Crawford. You know, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. That could be a difference in the fight. Because obviously, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm gonna feel the power. I'm gonna feel that size difference, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, we'll just all know that, hey, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not, he's testing himself. He's testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him. I don't got no doubt in my mind. He's a 2-time undisputed world champion.
Lamont showed respect for both Canelo and Terence Crawford, calling them great athletes. When asked to pick a winner, he said it was hard because he supports both fighters. But he admitted he's worried about Canelo's powerful punches, saying Canelo hits very hard and that makes him nervous about the fight. Edgar Bunga said Crawford should be confident, stick to his style, and use his smart ring skills. He reminded everyone why Crawford is a 2-time undisputed champion. Bunga also talked about the weight difference, comparing it to moving up to heavyweight where size and strength really matter. He said Crawford is facing a tough challenge against a top fighter and deserves respect for moving up in weight. Even if Crawford loses, Bunga said it's a tough move and he believes in Crawford's skills.
It's gonna phase him in that fight, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out, so he just gotta go in there just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it, you know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size, the only that throws the fight off is the size and obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna phase him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna phase him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think
Berlanga said that the only thing that might trouble Crawford is Canelo's size and strength. He believes Crawford won't be able to stop Canelo, so the fight will come down to strategy. When asked who he supports, Berlanga said he's behind Crawford and thinks he can win. But he also admitted that Canelo's size, power, and experience are very important. He pointed out that Canelo has fought bigger boxers before and won't be easily affected by Crawford's strength. Overall, Berlanga thinks the fight is evenly matched.
Attention to the pushing and shoving. I pay no attention to the weight package. What I pay attention to is the skill level that both guys show in and out of the ring. And what I'm seeing is I see a hungry Crawford. A Crawford that has been looking for the opportunity for a long time, finally getting the opportunity, and really ready to grab the opportunity. And with Canelo, I see a guy who not necessarily hungry, but loves to entertain, loves to give us the big fights. Always tried to give the big fights. He finds a way to give us big fights. Not going to always win them, but he always tries to give them to us. So he'll be a guy that, if he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well.
Roy Jones Jr. said he doesn't care about face-offs or who looks tougher, but what each fighter can do in the ring. He thinks Crawford will be calm, focused, and ready for the big moment he has worked for. Roy feels that Canelo might not be as hungry as before. Even though Canelo likes being in the spotlight, Roy isn't sure if he can perform at his best now. Finally, Roy said the key to the fight will be Crawford's ability to handle Canelo's strength and constant pressure.
You know how to box. When you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much. All thing that matters with the weight is can you take the punch. And I'm sure you've been strong with super middles and light heavies, so I'm sure you probably can take the punch. So that's the only thing when you got skill. Now if you don't have skill, you can't take it up. And you're gonna lose your punch, you're gonna lose everything. When you got skill, all your stuff that you have goes up with you. You talk to the GOAT. I went out with a heavyweight.
No, it's a lot of the people, which is why I brought up, would use the weight as an advantage for Canelo. But I agree, and you're right. Canelo fights obviously taller fighters all the time and wins. It's about skill as opposed to, a lot of the time anyway, as opposed to weight.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not really worried about the weight. I'm worried about the skill level.
He also said he isn't worried about the size difference between Crawford and Canelo because true skill works in any weight class. He believes Crawford is so skilled that size doesn't matter. Roy's main concern is whether Crawford can take punches from someone bigger. He pointed out that real talent grows with the fighter, no matter the weight. Roy thinks having skill and experience in the ring is more important than size.
Well, Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit. In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He has been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that a coach I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. You know, he's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's going to be getting hit by it.
Abel Sanchez praised both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as smart and skilled fighters but prefers Canelo because of his size and defense. He said Canelo has taken big punches from strong fighters like Gennady Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol, and Sergio Kovalev without showing much damage. Sanchez thinks that no matter how skilled Crawford is or how much weight he gains, fighting someone as strong and big as Canelo is a very different challenge.